Easy guys, Dom here from Cringy Dad Gaming. So in this video we're taking a look at one of the newest DayZ maps to launch called Nyheim. This is based in an area within Norway and set in the year 2071. This is available over on the DayzRP server now, as it was launched on June 18th, 2021. Before I get into my thoughts on the new map, I'm just going to do a Q&A with one of the co-owners of the server named Hoffer. He was very kind to give me some of his time to answer a few questions about the new map and its future. So my first question was, is Nyheim an exclusive map for DayzRP? And for those of you who don't know what DayzRP is, it's a whitelisted role-playing server. I'm not going to deep dive into what the role-playing aspects and rules are in this video because there's a lot to cover, but I will put the website's link in the video description for you so you can check it out, but we will cover a little bit more later on in the video about what the role-playing is. But in response to that first question, Hoffer said yes, the map it is created in-house by our developer Kirko, if that's how you pronounce his name. It has been created with role-playing in mind from the get-go. Question 2 was what inspired the new map and its lore, to which he answered the map is inspired by the area where the borders between Finland, Sweden and Norway cross. A Scandinavian setting was chosen because this had not been properly done in a DayZ setting before. Originally it was going to be fully snowy, but we changed our minds. Now there are snowy areas on the outskirts and around the map for you to be able to explore, but the main core of the map is relatively green and lush in terms of its setting. Hoffer also mentioned that the lore had taken inspiration from various different medias such as Half-Life, Fallout, the Book of Eli, and they decided to make it futuristic to get away from the stereotypical, oh, this infection just happened, what to do, to put it into a more serious setting where this world is the only thing the characters know about because most of the people who lived before them had passed. Question 3 was, is the large city the main focus of the map? Now this city is huge and we're going to take a look at part of this city. It is so vast and just looking at the map it doesn't do the size of the actual city justice, but there's lots of areas within the city to explore. Some of them are very run down and looks like it's been bombed, which is part of the lore of the map. And to respond to that question, he said, yes, the city is the focus, however the outskirts have some very interesting places to explore and for outcasts to take shelter in. No zombies spawn in the city, but they do outside, so it means any of you guys who had played on the Chernarus DayzRP map know that you would be in an area that you thought was relatively safe, but zombies would keep spawning in there and it would kind of sometimes get in the way of the role-playing side of the server. So I do like how they've done that with the main city area not spawning zombies. Question 4 was, are there any plans to remove the current weapon skins, as these would have degraded over time? Now remember the setting is 2071, so it's moved on quite a lot in terms of its time frame, and with the fact that there's not really any running factories and people creating parts for these weapons, they would have degraded. And I did ask, replacing them with more degraded and versions that look like you've kind of DIY'd them, kind of upgraded them yourself to keep them working. In which his response was, discussions about making weapons look more worn are in place, as well as new and unique scrap weapons are being created by our developers. So this is something that we can look forward to in the future, taking out the weapons at the moment that look pretty much brand new and replacing them with ones that look old and worn, and maybe ones you able to upgrade and mod yourself to look like something that would be in the apocalypse over that vast time jump from where the original setting of DayZ was put into the game. Another part of question 4 was, the year is 2071, with the date being so far in the future, are there any plans to change the current in-game clothing so they look more handmade, like what you'd probably see in the post-apocalyptic world of Mad Max for instance? Which his answer to that was, we're looking into mods and our own solutions to modded clothing. So again, something that they could be adding into the server at a later date, which again is something that would, I think, fit the theme a little bit better than the current clothing that looks quite new and what you'd seen maybe in other servers, to have a more unique look to them. So I do look forward to seeing what they do with that in the future. Question 5 was, the lore mentions mutated beasts and infected. Do you plan to add modded versions of infected and animals into the map? Hoffer's response to that was, not as of yet. The Dayz 1.13 already adds different kinds of infected, so we will wait and see how that plays out. Now, I've played on a lot of Dayz servers where there are a lot of different modded infected and animals, and they do look quite cool, and some of them are quite scary, and I hope this is something they do explore in the future, because I do think with the way they've set the lore, and when you read through the lore on their website, it's very interesting. They've got not only lore about the setting and how the infected have mutated, but also, you know, a really complex timeline showing you what's happened up to the point in the setting of 2071. Question 6 was, are there any hidden locations on the map? And Hoffer's answer to that was loads. The map is full of Easter eggs and secret locations you as a player can venture to if you can find them. So going out and exploring is something that is good to do on this map, because you're probably going to find some really cool locations. And I've not been playing this new map long enough because it's only been out for a couple of days now, but I will be going off and doing a little bit of exploring and trying to find some of these Easter eggs and hidden locations. Question 7 was, do you plan to add new points of interest or expand the map further in future? Which his response was, we have the option to expand the map as much as we want. Right now though, the focus will be on bug fixing. We have some planned features that didn't make a release, but some will hopefully be added in the following weeks or months. These features are a fully custom made underground currently being modelled. That's very exciting and gives a new level to, you know, the map itself. A functioning and automated train with passenger seats. I really like that. That's pretty cool. And they're obviously looking to add more, but he didn't really state anything more than that. But some exciting things coming that he mentioned there. Question 8 was, will you be doing any faction events like the ones you did on the Churnerus map? So with DayzRP, it does focus on role playing, and you can kind of choose a faction or join up with factions if that's what you want to do in the game. And his answer to that was, yes, we have the PLIKT, or PLIKT, which is what they're known as, are already up and running, which is the governmental faction running the walled off portion of Nyheim, which is part of the main city area. It is staff run, and more factions are planned but not publicly announced. So if you've not played DayzRP before, if you was in a particular faction and you had kind of like a story running, the staff that run the DayzRP server would often run events where they would be involved and they would help progress your storyline with different types of events. Some would be like PvP events. Now, although this map isn't, or this server isn't a PvP server, it's not like what you kind of get on standard Dayz where you can just kill on sight and do anything you want. There are rules in place that mean that you have to initiate some form of hostility in order to be able to create a PvP event, but it has to be done in a way in which you follow specific rules to give the people who are involved a good role-playing experience. And sometimes these can lead into some really fun PvP battles. So, you know, looking at the website, you'll find more information on the rules of engagement and how this sort of thing works. But when they do these events, there will be options to be able to have some fun PvP and role playing with the actual staff that have these factions set up that would interact with your faction and, you know, fit into your storyline of where your faction is running. That has to be pre-planned with the staff, and again, more information on that sort of thing can be found on their website or Discord. Question 9 was, to a Dayz player looking for a new experience, what would you say DayzRP does differently from other role-playing servers? To which Hoffer's answer was, a unique map, lore and experienced staff. proven rules that have been modelled over many years, a staple community that has been around for 9 years running and does not have plans to end anytime soon. Now, my experience playing on DayzRP in the past, it is very well run. There's a lot of really cool players on there. You'll meet a lot of really nice people, a community of people that do take the role playing very serious, and I would recommend to any of you that are not into role playing yet to kind of really check out the website for the lore. Make sure you create a character and a backstory that is fitting for the setting, and you know, have a good history with your character, because you will sometimes interact with people and share stories about your past, and that is kind of the whole point of this. It is for people who maybe are a little bit kind of bored of just the general Dayz experience and want something a little bit more fulfilling. And for me, when I'm getting a little bit tired of maybe playing on the PvP servers and I just want to have a bit more of a chilled experience where I can still do the PvE elements, it's like the surviving, you know, killing zombies and stuff like that, and exploring and scavenging for loot, but also then when you meet up with people, you've not got to have that fear of kill on sight, and you can stop and have a conversation with them. Yes, that could turn out that they're a bandit and they're going to try and hold you up for gear, but you know, that is kind of the whole point of this role-playing server, that if that was to happen, there would be a meaningful interaction that would play out with kind of like story elements from those characters, and I do find that really fun. And the last question that I had for Hoffer was question 10, and what does the future hold for DayzRP? To which he answered, continued support and development of the map and lore. If necessary, we have the opportunity to expand with more servers. We also have a flood of content creators wanting to come to our server to check out Nyheim, which is promising. And you know, I'm one of those content creators because I'm always looking for new Dayz experiences, and I have to say the new map is fantastic. So a big thank you to Hoffer for giving me his time to answer some of those questions. Hopefully that's enlightened some of you on what this new map is about and what the server offers in terms of the role playing and gameplay that you can get on this server, which is DayzRP. So some of the areas that I've explored so far on the map that I really liked, obviously the main city has a lot of different areas. It is, as I've said, very, very large, and there's lots to explore and do within the city itself. But on the outskirts of the city, there is the snowy regions and the colder regions. There was this ship that was trapped in the ice, and it's got like this little shanty town built around the outside of it. You will find little trader spots within the map as well, which are now vending machines. In the generous map, DayzRP did actually have the NPC characters that you would trade at, but now they've gone for these vending machines that you can go to and you can do your trading there. So you can sell and buy items there, you can store cash at an ATM, and this can kind of help you be able to sustain yourself rather than having to constantly loot. It means you can just buy the stuff you need and then focus on the role playing if that's what you want to do. And there's also these outposts up in some of the hilly areas like the one I mentioned, which kind of reminded me of Megaton from Fallout 3, which is this huge metal type structure with a few different areas spread around it on the outside. And you know, there's also some really vast wilderness as well, with lots of trees and areas where you can go and hunt and things like that. But I mean, I've not even scratched the surface of all the different areas. There's different little villages and towns spotted around the map as well, you know, residential areas and things like that for you to be able to explore too. There are vehicles in the game and you are able to repair and use vehicles and stuff like that, and so everything you'd expect from the Dayz experience is there. So I'd highly recommend you go and check out the new map Nyheim on the DayzRP server if you're looking for a new experience, and as I said, the details for the website are on the video's description. So I hope this video has given you a fresh look at a new Dayz map, and just watch this space for more Dayz content. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Subscribing to the channel is free and it does help support me as a content creator and helps YouTube recommend fantastic new content for you to watch and enjoy. So I'll catch you guys on another video, and thanks for watching.